Foundations, an introduction to anatomy. What is anatomy? Anatomy is the study of the structure of the human body, also called morphology. Anatomy is closely related to physiology, which is the study of body function, because structure supports function. There are many subdisciplines of anatomy. Gross anatomy is the study of body structures that can be examined by the naked eye. An important technique for studying gross anatomy is dissection. The connective tissue is removed from between the organs so that the organs can be seen more clearly. In fact, the term anatomy is derived from the Greek words meaning to cut apart. Studies of gross anatomy can be approached in several different ways. In regional anatomy, all structures in a single body region, such as the abdomen or head, are examined as a group. In systemic anatomy, all organs with related functions are studied together. The systemic approach to anatomy is best for relating structure to function. In surface anatomy, the shapes and markings called landmarks that exist on the surface of the body are examined. These landmarks reveal the underlying organs. Microscopic anatomy, or histology, is the study of structures that are so small that they can only be seen with the aid of a microscope. These structures include cells and cell parts, groups of cells called tissues, and microscopic details of the organs of the body. Two branches of anatomy explore how body structures form, grow, and mature. Developmental anatomy traces the structural changes that occur in the body throughout the lifespan and the effects of aging. Embryology is the study of how body structures form and develop before birth. Some specialized branches of anatomy are used primarily for medical diagnosis and scientific research. Pathological anatomy deals with the structural changes in cells, tissues, and organs caused by disease. Radiographic anatomy is the study of internal body structures by means of X-ray studies or other imaging techniques. Functional morphology explores the functional properties of body structures and assesses the efficiency of their design. The human body has many levels of structural complexity. At the chemical level, atoms are tiny building blocks of matter, such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Atoms combine to form small molecules, such as carbon dioxide and water, as well as larger macromolecules. 4 classes of macromolecules are found in the human body: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. The macromolecules are the building blocks of the structures at the cellular level. These are the cells and their functional subunits called organelles. Cells are the smallest living things in the body. The next level is the tissue level. A tissue is a group of cells that work together to perform a common function. Only 4 tissue types make up all organs in the human body. Epithelial tissue covers the body surface and lines the cavities. Connective tissue supports the body and protects the organs. Muscle tissue provides movement, and nervous tissue provides fast internal communication by transmitting electrical impulses. Extremely complex physiological processes occur at the organ level. An organ is a discrete structure made up of more than one tissue. Most organs contain all 4 tissues. The liver, brain, femur, and heart are good examples of this. You can think of each organ in the body as a functional center, responsible for an activity that no other organ can perform. Organs that work closely together to accomplish a common purpose make up an organ system, which is the next level. For example, organs of the cardiovascular system include the heart and the blood vessels. These organs work together to transport blood to all body tissues. Organs of the digestive system, such as the mouth, esophagus, stomach, and intestines, break down food so that we can absorb the nutrients into the blood. The body's organ systems include the integumentary system, the skeletal system, the muscular system, the nervous system, the endocrine system, the cardiovascular system, the lymphatic system, the immune system, the respiratory system, the digestive system, the urinary system, and the reproductive system. The highest level of organization is the organismal level. For example, the human organism is a whole living person. The organismal level is the result of all of the simpler levels of anatomy working in unison to sustain life. The body's organ systems and their major functions. The integumentary system forms the external body coverings and protects deeper tissues from injury. It synthesizes vitamin D and houses cutaneous receptors for pressure and pain, and sweat and oil glands. The skeletal system serves to protect and support the body's organs and provides a framework that the muscles use to cause movement. Blood cells are formed within the bones, and bones store minerals. The muscular system allows manipulation of the environment, locomotion, and facial expression. It maintains posture and produces heat. The nervous system acts as the fast-acting control system of the body. It responds to the internal and external changes by activating appropriate muscles and glands. The endocrine system is comprised of glands that secrete hormones. These hormones regulate processes such as growth, reproduction, and metabolism by body cells. The cardiovascular system includes the heart, which pumps the blood, and the blood vessels, which transports this blood to the tissues of the body. The blood carries oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients, and wastes. The lymphatic system is a network of tissues, vessels, and organs that work together to move lymphatic fluid back into your circulatory system. The immune system protects the body from outside invaders, such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and toxins. The immune system is composed of different organs, cells, and proteins that work together to keep the body healthy. The respiratory system is a network of organs and tissues that allow you to breathe. This includes your airways, lungs, and blood vessels, along with the muscles that power the lungs. These parts work together to move oxygen throughout the body and clean out waste gases like carbon dioxide. The digestive system includes the organs and structures of the body that help the body digest foods and liquids for absorption of nutrients into the bloodstream. The digestive system includes the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus, along with several accessory organs. The urinary system functions to filter the blood and create urine as a waste product. The organs of the urinary system include the kidneys, the renal pelvis, the ureters, the bladder, and the urethra. Within the context of producing offspring, the reproductive system functions to produce egg or sperm cells, to transport and sustain these cells, and to nurture developing offspring. Humans belong to the group of animals called vertebrates. All vertebrates share the following basic features. First, they have a tube within a tube body plan. The inner tube extends from the mouth to the anus and includes the respiratory and digestive organs. The outer tube consists of the axial skeleton and its associated axial muscles that make up the outer body wall and nervous structures. The human body displays bilateral symmetry, meaning that the left half of the body is essentially a mirror image of the right half. Also, all vertebrates have a dorsal hollow nerve cord. Vertebrate embryos have a hollow nerve cord running along their back in the median plane. This cord develops into the brain and spinal cord. All vertebrates have a notochord and vertebrae. In humans, a complete notochord forms in the embryo and is quickly replaced by the vertebrae. The human body also displays segmentation. Segments are repeating units of similar structures that run from the head along the full length of the trunk. In humans, the ribs and the muscles between the ribs are evidence of such segmentation, as are many nerve branches off the spinal cord. The bony vertebral column, with its repeating vertebrae, is also segmented. All vertebrates also display pharyngeal pouches. Humans have a pharynx, which is the throat region of the digestive system and respiratory tube, which develops during the embryonic stage from outpocketings called pharyngeal pouches. Microscopic anatomy. Microscopy is the examination of small structures with a microscope. Two main types of microscopes are now used to investigate the fine structures of organs, tissues, and cells. The light microscope is used to examine specimens or substances mounted on microscopic slides. One of the most commonly used histological stains is a combination of two dyes, hematoxylin and eosin, referred to as the H&E stain. Hematoxylin is a basic stain that binds to the acidic structures of the cell, such as the nucleus, ribosomes, and rough endoplasmic reticulum. The hematoxylin colors these structures bluish-purple. Eosin is an acidic stain which binds to basic cytoplasmic structures and extracellular components, coloring them reddish-pink. Some specimens may also be viewed using electron microscopy. The transmission electron microscope requires that tissue sections are stained with heavy metal salts. These metals deflect electrons in the beam to different extents, thus providing contrast in the image. Most anatomical terms are based on ancient Greek or Latin words. This terminology, which came into use when Latin was the official language of science, provides a standard nomenclature that scientists can use worldwide, no matter what language they speak. To accurately describe the various body parts and their locations, you need to have a common visual reference point. This reference point is referred to as the anatomical position. In this position, a person stands erect with feet flat on the ground, toes pointing forward, and eyes facing forward. The palms face anteriorly towards the front of the body, with the thumbs pointed away from the body or laterally. Additionally, the terms right and left always refer to the sides belonging to the person or cadaver being viewed, not the right and left sides of the viewer. Regional terms. Regional terms are the names of specific body areas. The fundamental divisions of the body are the axial and appendicular regions. The axial region is so named because it makes up the main axis of the body and consists of the head, neck, and trunk. The trunk, in turn, is divided into the thorax or chest, the abdomen, and the pelvis. The trunk also includes the region around the anus and external genitalia, called the perineum. The appendicular region of the body consists of the limbs, which are also called appendages or extremities. Standard directional terms are used by medical personnel and anatomists to explain precisely where one body structure lies in relationship to another. The term superior or cranial means toward the head end, or the upper part of the structure of the body. For example, the head is superior to the abdomen. Inferior or caudal means away from the head or toward the lower part of a structure of the body. For example, the intestines are inferior to the liver. Medial means toward or at the midline of the body, such as in the heart is medial to the lungs. Lateral means away from the midline of the body on the outer sides. For example, the thumb is lateral to the pinky. Proximal means the closer point to the origin of the body, or the point of attachment of a limb to the body trunk. An example of using proximal in a sentence is, the elbow is proximal to the wrist. Distal means further from the origin of the body, or further from the point of attachment of a limb to the body trunk, as in, the knee is distal to the thigh. Ipsilateral means on the same side. For example, the right hand and right foot would be ipsilateral. Contralateral means opposite sides. The right hand and left foot would be contralateral. The anterior or ventral means toward or at the front of the body, as in, the sternum is anterior to the heart. Posterior or dorsal means toward the back or at the back of the body, or behind. For example, the vertebrae is posterior to the heart. Superficial or external means toward or at the body surface, as in, the skin is superficial to the skeletal muscles. Deep or internal means away from the body surface or more internal. For example, the lungs are deep to the skin. Body planes and sections. A sagittal plane extends vertically and divides the body into left and right parts. The specific sagittal plane that lies exactly in the midline is called the median plane or mid-sagittal plane. All other sagittal planes are offset from this midline and are referred to as parasagittal planes. A frontal or coronal plane extends vertically and divides the body into an anterior and posterior portion. The transverse or horizontal plane runs horizontally from left to right, dividing the body into superior and inferior portions. A transverse section is also referred to as a cross-section. Cuts that are made along a plane that lies diagonally between the horizontal and vertical planes are called oblique sections. Oblique sections are difficult to interpret because the orientation of the view is not obvious. For this reason, oblique sections are seldomly used. Body cavities and membranes. The dorsal body cavity is subdivided into a cranial cavity, which lies in the skull and encases the brain, and a vertebral cavity, which runs through the vertebral column and encloses the spinal cord. The ventral body cavity is large with several subdivisions. The organs it contains, such as the lungs, heart, intestines, and kidneys, are referred to as visceral organs, or more simply, viscera. The ventral body cavity has two main subdivisions. One is the thoracic cavity, which is superior and surrounded by the ribs and the muscles of the chest wall, and the abdominopelvic cavity, which is inferior. This is surrounded by the abdominal walls and the pelvic girdle. The thoracic and abdominal cavities are separated from each other by the diaphragm, which is a dome-shaped muscle used in breathing. The thoracic cavity has three subdivisions. It has two lateral parts, which each contain a lung, surrounded by a pleural cavity, filled with pleural fluid. Between these two pleural cavities is a central band of organs, called the mediastinum. The mediastinum contains the heart, which is surrounded by an additional cavity called the pericardial cavity. The abdominopelvic cavity is divided into two portions. The superior part is called the abdominal cavity and contains the liver, stomach, kidneys, and other organs. The inferior part, or pelvic cavity, contains the bladder, some reproductive organs, and the rectum. These two parts are continuous with each other, not separated by any muscular or membranous partition. Many organs in the abdominopelvic cavity are surrounded by a peritoneal cavity. Serous cavities and membranes. Serous cavities are lined by a serous membrane, also called the serosa. The part of the serosa that forms the outer wall of the cavity is called the parietal serosa. The parietal serosa is continuous with the inner visceral serosa, which covers the visceral organs. You can visualize the relationship of serous membranes by pushing your fist into a limp balloon. The part of the balloon that clings to your fist represents the visceral serosa on the organ's outer surface. The outer wall of the balloon represents the parietal serosa. The balloon's thin airspace represents the serous cavity itself, which is filled with serous fluid. The abdomen can be divided into 4 quadrants by drawing one vertical and one horizontal plane through the navel. There are several regional terms that you should become familiar with to succeed in your anatomy course. We'll begin with the axial region. The cephalic region means the head region. The forehead is the frontal region. The region of the eye is the orbital region. The region that contains the nose is the nasal region. And the region of the mouth is the oral region. The region that includes the chin is the mental region. The cervical region refers to the neck area. The thoracic region refers to the entire chest area. The sternal region is the region within the thoracic area that covers the breastbone or sternum and lies between the breasts or mammaries. The axillary region refers to the area of the armpit. The abdominal region includes the entire stomach area and includes the umbilical region, which is the region surrounding the belly button. The pelvic region includes the region of the pelvis. The inguinal region or groin region is the area of the bladder and internal reproductive organs. The pubic area or genital area comprises the external genitalia. The otic region is the region of the ear, and the occipital region is the back of the head. The area around the shoulder blades is referred to as the scapular region. The region which overlays the vertebral column is the vertebral region. The lower back is referred to as the lumbar region. The region of the tailbone is referred to as the sacral region. The gluteal region is the region of the buttocks, and the perineal region is the region between the anus and the external genitalia. The area of the shoulders is referred to as the acromial region. The area of the upper arm is the brachial region. The region of the elbow is the olecramal region. The region that lies at the inside of the elbow is the antecubital region. The region of the forearm is the antebrachial region. The area of the wrist is the carpal region. The area of the hand is the manus region. The area of the pollex is the region of the thumb. The region of the back of the hand is the metacarpal region. The area of the palm is the palmar region. The area of the digits refers to the fingers or toes. The coxal region is the region of the hip. The thigh is the femoral region. The patellar region is the region of the kneecap. The popliteal region is the region that lies at the back of the knee. The crural region is the region of the leg or shin. The sural region is the region of the calf. The fibular region is the region lying on the lateral portion of the leg. The area of the foot is referred to as the pedal region. The ankle is referred to as the tarsal region. The calcaneal refers to the region of the heel. The metatarsal region refers to the top of the foot. The plantar region refers to the sole of the foot. And finally, the helix refers to the area of the big toe. Thank you for watching.